Πολύ ωραίες φωτογραφίες. Πάμε λοιπόν, όσοι ώρα βγαίνουν φωτογραφίες και αλλάζει τη δομή της η αίθουσα, να προλογίσουμε το δεύτερο μας θέμα, τη δεύτερη μας ενότητα, που είναι ο νότιος διάδρομος.
The Southern Gas Corridor. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I will be moderating along with Mr. Andritsos, and you are here. And you will be moderated by two Nikoses. Here we are, on behalf of the International New York Times. Thank you for attending this forum. Would you be so kind, my dear colleagues, the photographers, please? Is it possible for you to help us out? So as for us to move ahead, let's put together the next panel. Please be seated, those of you who will be attending this panel discussion.
Ωραία, πάρα πολύ. Ευχαριστούμε, κύριε Πατεράκη. Ευχαριστούμε. Λοιπόν, η ενότητα η οποία σε λίγη ώρα θα εξελιχθεί εδώ στο πάνελ έχει να κάνει με τη σημασία.
So, we are going to refer to the importance of the Southern Gas Corridor for Europe's import security compared to the EU's traditional gas partners. These gas partners, traditional ones, are providing gas to the members. So, what is the timetable for the implementation of TANAP and TAP? Can the TAP project contribute to the liberalization and integration of gas markets throughout Southeastern Europe, and what are the benefits for Greece? These are the main issues that we will be dealing with in the confines of our panel discussion. Let us invite Mr. Panagiotis Michalos, who is the General Secretary of International Economic Relations for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We will also be joined by the Deputy Minister of Economy and Energy of Bulgaria, Mr. Krasin Dimitrov, along with Mr. Amnar Mamadov, who is the CEO of SOCAR Georgia Gas Limited, which is based in Azerbaijan. Once the three addresses are completed, we're going to get Kuwait Petroleum and Mr. Abu Sadar, who will take the floor as well. But Mr. Michalos, I think you go first.
Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like also to thank the organizers for the opportunity to address this forum. Let's see why we're here today, why an energy forum is organized in Athens for the second year in a row. That is because things are changing. As Prime Minister Antonis Samaras recently stated, we, as a country, we delivered. That is the reason that Greece is now ready to move out of the memorandum era. The sacrifices of the Greek people and the commitment of the coalition government to reforms and to the goals of the fiscal adjustment program now, I believe, pave the way for recovery. So this is a good starting point. As I was sitting listening to the very eloquent speeches of the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs Venizelos, and Minister of Energy, Yannis Maniatis, as well as the rest of the distinguished speakers, I kept changing and editing my comments, so I will not be repetitive and I will not repeat what basically they have said. So to that end, I will be a bit more specific, cutting out everything that the previous speakers spoke about. So allow me to touch very specifically on the energy issues. Energy, as most of you now know, has become a very hot prospect for growth in Greece. And TAP, the Trans-Adriatic pipeline, was the turning point. We, the government, Greece, started as an outsider. Years later than a competing project that called Nabucco. but we worked very hard together with our partners, Albania and Italy, in order to present the advantages of the Trans-Adriatic pipeline. Our concerted effort and action helped us to secure TAP and start planning for a broader vision: the energy security and diversification of the whole region. Our experience with TAP showed that when the numbers make sense, the economic numbers, and the government decides to throw its weight behind a specific project, inevitably success follows. To reiterate, because many people do not 100% comprehend, the Trans-Adriatic pipeline is a private project. It is an investment for the Greek part of the project of 1.5 billion, private equity and private debt, private money, not public, and will create in total 12,000 jobs, 2,000 direct and 10,000 indirect. While working, I want to mention this, while working on the TAP project, we built an excellent relationship with Azerbaijan. Apart from our common economic interests with Azerbaijan, we discovered we have significant cultural bind between the two peoples. In Sokar, we found a great business partner who saw Greece as an equally attractive new business area for investment. The seal of proof came, of course, with the acquisition of DESFA, the Hellenic transmission system operator, by Sokar, which made a long-term commitment in Greece with a significant investment. However, TAP is just part of how we envisage Greece into the energy landscape of our broader region. We have the events in Ukraine. This issue has helped highlight what we always talk about, but a bit in theory, but it has highlighted the need for energy security and diversification in the region. Thus, a vertical corridor. A vertical corridor that will connect all the natural gas flowing east-west, the Mediterranean gas, the TAP gas, and other LNG, into Central and Eastern Europe. A network, this corridor, a network of interconnectors leading from Revithoussa, the LNG terminal in Piraeus, all the way up to Hungary and Ukraine. Why is this the most realistic scenario of natural gas flow and energy security to Central and Eastern Europe and the Balkans? Simply, it is very easily and realistically accomplishable and very affordable. It does not require a huge new investment, which would take perhaps years to put together. This vertical corridor consists of three pieces. The national natural gas grids of the countries involved, and these are already in place. Two, the interconnectors linking the national grids to one another. Some of these already exist. Some have to be constructed. But in any case, these are rather smaller projects. And specifically, they require much smaller financing. The interconnector of Greece-Bulgaria, the IGB, which was mentioned before, and I would like to re-emphasize our commitment, the Greek government's commitment and support, and we thank the Deputy Minister of Energy of Bulgaria here today. That project is a mature project. We are reaching the final investment decision this year, and I think it will be operational by the end of 2016. And third, we need new inlets to this vertical corridor, to this system, and Greece offers 3. The first one is Revithousa. This is the existing LNG terminal with a significant excess capacity for regasification, which will even be larger by 2016 following an investment that we have started of 160 million euro. This LNG terminal in Greece is already here. It is already operational. And I would like to point out, in stark contrast to other projects that were mentioned here before, of similar scale currently under consideration. The second inlet will be the floating LNG terminal in northern Greece, which will be linked to Greece's national grid and provide additional quantities. And 3, TAP, the Trans-Adriatic pipeline. The Trans-Adriatic pipeline, at its second phase of development, will contribute additional volumes to this vertical corridor. I mentioned our commitment to the IGB, the Greek-Bulgarian interconnector. An MOU for connecting TAP to this IGB has already been signed. Therefore, I believe the combination of the vertical corridor together with TAP and the Greek LNG terminals will provide energy security and diversification for Central and Southeastern Europe before the end of this decade. In this picture, one should also add the recent developments regarding newly found reserves in the Eastern Mediterranean, in Israel and Cyprus. Bringing these new reserves to the market will considerably affect the supply side of current energy projects. As you know, the options regarding possible transit routes are still open. Energy decisions in such a sensitive area of the world are by definition, one can say, political. They must be based, though, on clear and strict economic merits. Otherwise, no international investor will put the required capital into these projects, which no state, I believe, can afford or has the knowledge to manage. We have to be realistic, though, and take the economic aspects of such a project into consideration. Allow me to mention at this point that 80% of crude oil and 30% of international natural gas trade is done by ship. Greek ship owners are already commanding, as all of you know, a large fleet of tankers carrying oil around the world. We expect that the Greek shipping community will keep increasing its share regarding LNG ships. The current level at which new LNG ships are being built or have been ordered around the world supports the view I just mentioned. I mentioned the basic parameters that give shape to a greater energy vision for Greece and the entire Central and Southeastern Europe. These parameters is what we believe will be transforming Greece into an energy hub and not simply transporting. Energy, in closing, energy is an important area of economic growth and prospects for all the people in the region. Now more than ever, Central and Southeastern Europe needs a future with a stable political and economic environment. Through energy, it is within reach, this security. The vertical corridor and the other energy developments will contribute to the prosperity of the region for decades to come. I wish you all the best, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Michalos, for being so short. Mr. Dimitrov.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be present at this ambitious forum co-hosted by the International New York Times and Kathimerini newspapers. And with so many distinguished experts that have talked before me and that are in the panel here in Athens, in the beautiful Greek capital, I think that we can put a lot of contribution for the Southern Gas Corridor, which connecting Europe with the Caspian Sea, but also with other points of entry like Middle East, the new Eastern Mediterranean possible deposits, and also the interconnector between Bulgaria and Greece. Building a sustainable energy system is the most important task for all of us. All of us realize the security challenges become more than ever interconnected, especially in the view of the current situation between Russia and Ukraine, and Bulgaria is among the most affected countries in that regard. The security of energy supplies and the challenges we face today are well and very well known by all of us. We speak about international prices of energy resources, about increasing of energy demand, about of new supplies of gas and new resources and deposits. So the whole map and interconnection between the countries in regard to energy resources has changed, and we need a new policy and new solutions. There are few priority areas on the way to ensure security of supply, such as development of the necessary infrastructure and diversification of energy supplies, and coordination of external energy relations, and stronger solidarity, improvement of oil and gas stocks, and crisis response mechanisms. Additional urgent efforts to integrate renewable energy into the existing networks and to improve energy efficiency, best use of its indigenous energy resources. The development and upgrading of an adequate energy infrastructure facilities would secure uninterruptible and diversified energy supplies, as well as to the physical operation of the regional energy markets, including Southwest Europe market. The Black Sea area is an important region for the security of the energy flows from Central Asia and Middle East Europe. The presence of extremely diverse in their character problems requires the broadest possible approach to find optimal solutions to ensure economic, political, and social development of the countries in this region. In that regard, it was not particularly mentioned before, but all our interconnecting projects with other countries including the South Stream project are extremely important for the ensuring the security supply of energy resources into the European Union. For Bulgaria, as pointed out before me by the speakers and Minister Manatis, we strongly support the IGB connector between Bulgaria and Greece, because this is the project, the most mature project, the project that took 4 years until to come to this stage, and now is in the phase of actual investment decision and starting up of building and construction of this project. This project, of course, combines perfectly well with the LNG floating terminal that was also mentioned as an extremely important entry point for Greece, together with the current existing Revituza entry point and regasification terminal. And when we talk about the vertical corridor, we also call it a cluster of interconnectors that are of European Union priority to be realized in the near future, because they do not provide energy security only to our two countries, Bulgaria and Greece, but as mentioned, all other countries like Romania, Hungary, The Visegrad 4 and 4 Plus are interconnected, and this is extremely important route of providing of natural gas to the countries of Central and Eastern Europe. In some way, yes, it was the TAP project that won to the Nabucco alternative, but now through this vertical corridor, through this interconnector of clusters, we will achieve again similar way energy security of supplies of all our countries in Central and Eastern Europe. I would like also to say that for successful implementation of the Southern Corridor priority, it is necessary to intensify the cooperation with the regions and the countries that participate in, and to add on to what Mr. Holstein had said, in this period it is much more important that there is a cooperation between the countries rather than providing a different type of sanctions, because all of us are interconnected, and in that regard we are interdependent. So there is no zero game in this. We, all of us, have to be cooperative in order to achieve our global European energy security. We do believe that the energy security of all countries is strongly not only supported by all our countries, but it is also a matter of an absolute priority, especially in the times of crisis like the one that we have now. And the only way to guarantee the energy security is to work together and develop projects of regional dimension, what we do between Bulgaria and Greece. In Southwest Europe, there are a number of other strategic projects which could transform the picture of energy supply and security, and the gas corridor between TAP and Central Europe, and the connection between TAP and the interconnector IGB, Bulgaria and Greece, is of extreme importance. The development and upgrading of adequate energy infrastructure facilities would secure uninterruptible and diversified energy supplies, as well as the physical operation of the regional energy markets. All our efforts are focused on building sustainable and diversified energy system. In this context, again, cooperation is the key element of European energy policy, and it is goals of security of supply, competitiveness and sustainability. Secure energy supplies, an efficient use of resources, affordable prices, and innovative solutions are crucial to our long-term sustainable growth, job creation, and quality of life. In conclusion, I would like just to express my confidence that we will achieve our goals, and during this year we will start implementing the further steps of our interconnector IGB between Bulgaria and Greece. Everything currently is going by plan, and I don't see any particular reason why there will be any more delays in that regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Στις δύο εξαιρετικά ενδιαφέρουσες.
These were two very interesting speeches that were pertinent to the political analysis of the Southern Gas Corridor. Let me now give the floor to Mr. Mamadov. Mr. Mamadov represents Sokar Georgia Gas Limited, Azerbaijan, and he's going to give us the point of view of the enterprises, one big player in this corridor.
It is a great honor for me to address the Athens Energy Forum today. The main aim of my today's speech will be to enlighten the recent developments underpinning Azerbaijan's progress in becoming an important and reliable supplier of gas to Europe. Azerbaijan has historically played a key role in providing Europe with diversified energy supplies. And nowadays, our main goal is to strengthen our partnership further by helping to build a new gas corridor. The Declaration on Strategic Cooperation in the Energy Sector between Azerbaijan and the European Union was signed in Baku at the beginning of 2011, and it has played a major role in the implementation of the Southern Gas Corridor. Today, we can already see the actual results of this declaration. The final investment decision for Shahdanis 2 project was signed in Baku in December 2013, marking the essential milestone in the history of development of the Southern Gas Corridor. A few months prior to the FID, the Trans-Adriatic pipeline, supporting the European Union's strategic goal of securing future gas supply, was selected as the preferred route for Shahdanis 2 volumes delivery. Having been designed with a potential expansion option in transportation capacity from 10 to 20 billion cubic meters per year, TAP will transport natural gas from Shahdanis 2 field via Greece and Albania across the Adriatic Sea to southern Italy and further to Western Europe, offering the shortest, the most direct, and the most economically efficient route from the Caspian Sea to European markets. In addition to its main function, it is also expected that TAP will promote economic development and job creation along the pipeline route and contribute to the development of the region as a whole. Slightly minor, but yet very important achievement is SOCAR's investment in DESFA, which we hope shall enable SOCAR and the European Commission to help to increase the efficiency of the gas markets of Greece and Southeastern Europe, and continue the development of these markets towards greater diversification. The investment in DESFA is a proof of consistency and reliability of strategic partnership with the European Union, which emphasizes the openness and transparency of Azerbaijan's strategy. Let me use this opportunity to highlight the current status and the immense progress made on Shahdanis 2 project today. Working closely with the Shahdanis Consortium, SOCAR, and the government of Azerbaijan have committed substantial financial and human resources to each element of the project, from field development to getting gas sales agreement in place to engineering some 4,000 kilometers of pipeline to the markets. In addition to drilling and infrastructure works offshore, preparation of the Sangachal terminal for additional volumes is well underway, as is the expansion of South Caucasus pipeline in Azerbaijan and Georgia. In Turkey, SOCAR is working closely with its partners on development of TANAP pipeline. Total cost required for realization of Southern Gas Corridor consisting of Shahdanis 2, SCP, TANAP and TAP is estimated to be over $45 billion. The execution of final investment decision and the selection of TAP support our commitment to delivering Azerbaijani gas to Europe. But it also must be emphasized that the Shahdanis Consortium has plans to work with European interconnector projects to deliver gas to multiple countries across Southeast Europe. Since the European Commission has already started to prioritize and support the development of interconnecting pipelines in order to contribute to the development of the gas network in Southern and Southeastern Europe, the Shahdanis Consortium is working closely with the European Commission on various gas transportation options. We believe that these interconnecting pipelines will lay the foundation for future growth in the region. As it was stated by the President of Azerbaijan, Mr. Ilham Aliyev, the Southern Gas Corridor will change the energy map of Europe and open up additional opportunities for our country and countries of the region. This statement by the President Aliyev backs the idea that there will be further phases in our vision to the opening and support of Southern Gas Corridor. We anticipate that after establishing the first link designed to deliver up to 10 billion cubic meters of gas per year from Shahdanis Stage 2, Azerbaijan will work towards enabling the delivery of additional volumes from other gas fields, which elevates the potential aggregated volumes for European delivery up to 25 billion cubic meters per annum. Indeed, we envisage that in addition to Shahdanis 2, Azerbaijan gas exports will increase dramatically over the coming years, as fields like Azeri-Charag-Gunashli Deep, Absheron, Umid, and Shafaka-Siman are currently being developed, and we therefore foresee further increase of exports into Europe, both via potential expansion of TAP and through other viable routes. Therefore, we certainly consider Southern Corridor as a natural market for our future volumes of gas. In other words, this means that we expect the ability of the Southern Corridor to bring new sources of supply to European markets to extend beyond the immediate areas transited by TAP. Azerbaijan perceives Europe as the important market for its future volumes, and the planned Southern Gas Corridor is the most important part of our long-term goal to be a reliable supplier to our European customers. On behalf of SOCAR's management, I would like to use this opportunity to thank everyone who has contributed to the major steps taken towards the realization of Azerbaijan's plans to become a strategic and reliable partner and a safe supply of gas to Europe, and to the joint effort of Azerbaijan and the European Union to build this road on the new energy map. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Abu Saibah from Kuwait Petroleum.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I thank the Forum Committee for the kind invitation to Kuwait Petroleum International, a subsidiary of Kuwait Petroleum Corporation, for this event. The road toward a new energy map, indeed a fit title and vision for energy companies and countries worldwide to go forward into the future, becoming responsible partners in Europe and Greece. We in Kuwait Petroleum International have been major players and are no strangers in the European corner of the world. Managing 5,000 retail shops across Europe, 70 airports worldwide, more than 150 airline companies around the world, 4 manufacturing lubricant plants across Europe, 2 refineries across Europe, and growing. We look forward to participate positively as an energy supply firm, always striving for excellence in Europe. We have been doing that for more than 30 years here in Europe. I thank the Forum and your Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Mishal Abu Shaiba from Kuwait Petroleum International. Ο λόγος σε εσάς, κυρίες και κύριοι.
And over to you, ladies and gentlemen. Questions, statements on what was said. Just like I said in the beginning of this panel discussion, we tried to put a political framework to the whole venture with regard to the Southern Gas Corridor. Pretty soon we will be joined by, if I may say so, the players in the field. But let's have stage 1, questions, Q&A. Can I ask a question to Mr. Mamada first? Could Azerbaijan possibly cater to the needs of Europe, just in case maybe the Ukrainian crisis would deteriorate?
As I mentioned in my speech, volumes that Azerbaijan can provide to Europe can potentially exceed the volumes that are planned to be delivered through TANAP and TAP due to the development of new gas fields besides Shahdanis 2. We're talking now about fields like Absheron, Umud, Shafaka-Siman, and let's not forget that there will be stage 3 for Shahdanis also, after 2025, Shahdanis 3. So what I can say that SOCAR and Azerbaijani government is committed to performing its obligation towards our European partners, and today's crisis in Ukraine highlights and emphasizes the need to diversify not only sources of supply, but also transportation routes to Europe.
Ερώτηση από εσάς, πριν εκμεταλλευτείτε.
Questions from you? I'm going to capitalize on the presence of Mr. Michalos instead. Mr. Michalos, a question. There are tangible advantages that Greece can get through the Southern Gas Corridor. But if we try to summarize, say, just in 3 points, bullet points, what makes the Southern Gas Corridor interesting, what would those points be? In Greek? Good. I'd say that this is the very first time when I do believe Greece has a political and diplomatic, geopolitical and diplomatic role to play. This is the first time when Greece has a tool in its hands, its energy. And we have to use this tool in the best possible manner through what we call the energy diplomacy. Just like I said in my speech, the fact that we kicked off with TAP is important. To me, TAP is just the beginning. TAP, this is a pipeline which, instead of Nabucco, we got TOP, and this project has put us on the map. This is a starting point for Greece in terms of this diplomatic tool, and this is making us obvious. We are no longer just spectators to developments. There are also surveys that have been conducted, or rather, there has been exploration for deposits, and there are hints and indications for deposits here and fields. Security and diversification are keywords. We've heard them time and again today. Security and diversification can be there just as long as we play our own role, and just as long as we try to establish this vertical corridor, which links the east to the west in terms of gas flow and LNG terminals, which are also being connected, and thus we will be able to supply Central and Eastern European countries. So I do believe that this fact, the fact that we had this development within 1 year or so, has changed significantly the role Greece is playing in the energy map. And I think we will play this role well. A question from the panel to Mr. Dimitrov. In the 2009 crisis involving Russia and Ukraine, that was a tough fortnight. And back then, we were really worried and concerned in Greece. What was the case in Bulgaria?
You mean in 2009, or how it compares to today?
For the crisis, Ukraine, Russia.
Russia, yeah. It was very tough for Bulgaria because the supplies of gas to Bulgaria was stopped. So we have to depend completely on our gas storage capacities, because currently, as you know, we have only possibility to supply. At that time, we had only possibility to supply gas through Romania. Currently, our transit gasification pipeline with Greece has a reverse connection, and we can supply about 3 million cubic meters per day. But because it is already springtime, there is no so big consumption. And because this situation between Ukraine and Russia is already developing in a new light, I don't expect any energy supply problems for Bulgaria in the current situation. Actually, I have a report from our Energy Security Department from today early in the morning, 9:30, and the energy supply has not changed even today and even now when I'm talking to.
Thank you very much. So, κάποια άλλη ερώτηση? Other question?
More questions, maybe? Apparently not. On that note, let me thank all the members of the panel. Thank you for taking part in this panel discussion. Gentlemen.
Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Να περάσουμε στην...
And let us stick to the same subject matter. It's still about the Southern Gas Corridor, but we're going to be joined by new panelists, and so we will be more technical in our analysis now. Nikos Ipofandis is here to help me do so.